In this video, I'll be explaining about the principle that is involved in the estimation of creatinine by Jaffe's method. So first of all, let me explain why is this experimental method is so important and what is creatinine and why the determination of creatinine in the given sample is so important. So first of all, this creatinine is nothing but it is the waste product that is formed because of the wear and tear that is taking place in the muscles of our body. So everybody, each normal individual will have creatinine, certain amount of creatinine in their body. So this creatinine, which is nothing but a waste product that is formed, has to be eliminated from our body. So how it is eliminated? This elimination of the creatinine is taking place by the filtration that is taking place by our kidney, and then whatever the waste creatinine is present, that is eliminated through the urine. So creatinine in the serum or urine can be determined by this experiment, that is the Jaffe's method, by which we form a complex of creatinine with the picric acid in the alkaline medium to identify how much of creatinine is present in the given sample. So by finding out how much of the creatinine has been excreted in the urine, we will get to know whether the kidney of the particular human being is functioning properly or not. That is, a normal level of creatinine excretion will tell us indirectly that the kidney of that particular individual is working perfectly. If the creatinine excretion in the urine is not up to the level, if it is lesser than expected or if it is lesser than the normal level, then it is very clear that the creatinine excretion is not taking place at a normal level, and because of this, the kidney of that particular person is not functioning properly. So this, by measuring the amount of creatinine that is present in the urine, by taking the sample of urine from an individual, we will get an indirect idea whether the kidneys of that particular individual is working in a normal rate or whether there is any problem with the functioning of the kidney. So if this creatinine is not excreted from the body, then what happens? The creatinine waste product will be accumulated in our bloodstream. So we can also make the creatinine test by undergoing the blood test. So if the creatinine content in the blood is more than expected or more than the normal level, so again it gives an idea that the excretion of this creatinine is not taking place properly, which indicates there is some problem with the kidney of the individual. So this measurement of creatinine or estimation of creatinine in the urine or in the blood is very important, and it plays a very important role in understanding whether the kidneys of the individual is in a normal condition. So now we know that this creatinine is a waste molecule that is generated in the muscles. So this is transported through the blood to the kidneys, and there in the kidneys this creatinine waste product will be eliminated out. So here, how this creatinine formation is taking place. This is just a simple flow chart which will make it easy for us to understand how this creatinine is produced in the body and how it just moves inside the body to prepare this to get eliminated from the body. So first, creatinine is produced by the creatine, which is synthesized in the different parts of our body like kidney, liver, pancreas. So once this creatine is synthesized, it is transported to many parts of our body through the bloodstream. So it reaches the different main parts of our body, that is especially the brain and the muscles, where the creatine is getting converted to the waste creatinine. So in the muscles as well as in the brain, because of the wear and tear of the muscles, here the creatine which was synthesized by kidney, liver and pancreas, which reaches these organs, will get converted to the creatinine. So once this creatine is phosphorylated, that is once the phosphate group is added, the creatine becomes converted into phosphocreatine, and this phosphocreatine, because of muscle contraction, gets converted into the waste creatinine. So now once this creatinine is formed, it will be eliminated by the filtration in the kidney, and excreted as urine. So now, how this creatinine is actually formed and what are its different characteristics and where does it go later. So creatine, as I've already told, the creatine which is produced in our pancreas or whatever I've shown it in the previous slide, so by the different parts of our body, and when it is phosphorylated or when a phosphate group is added, so with the help of the enzyme creatine kinase. So one more thing I would like to tell about this enzyme. This class of enzymes, that is the kinases, are the ones which will add phosphate group to the substrate molecule. So creatine kinase will catalyze the addition of phosphate group to the creatine substrate. So if phosphate group is added to creatine, it gets converted to phosphocreatine. Both this creatine and phosphocreatine will produce the waste product, that is creatinine, because of the contraction of the muscles. So now the formation of this creatinine, that is the amount of the waste creatinine that is produced, again depends on whether the individual is a female or a male, and also it depends upon the weight of the body of that particular individual. So again, after the creatinine is formed, it is nothing but a waste product and it is present in all the body fluids. So how it is eliminated? It is eliminated through the filtration, that is glomerulus filtration, and then it is excreted in the urine. So this is how the creatinine is formed and what is happening to this creatinine and how it is getting eliminated from our body since it is a waste product. So now this is just a normal range of the creatinine that is in blood. So for adult men, it should be between 0.74 to 1.35 mg per deciliter. For women, it should be 0.59 to 1.04 mg per deciliter. If the creatinine content in blood is in between this, then the individual is perfectly normal. Same way, the creatinine test can also be done for the urine sample after 24 hours. So here the values can range from 500 to 2000 mg per day. So again, here there will be slight changes between the men and the women, and also it may vary according to the body weight. But the overall range should come within this, whatever the range has been given. So now, suppose if the creatinine is not properly eliminated from the body, okay, if it just accumulates in the blood, then what might happen to that individual? There may be several symptoms which the individual may face, that is the shortness of breath or the nausea or the vomiting or dry skin. These are the different symptoms that are faced by individuals because of the accumulation of creatinine in the blood vessels. So it also indicates, as I've already told, if creatinine content is more in the blood vessels, it indicates that the kidney function is impaired or there is some problem with the functioning of the kidneys. So now, if by looking out the amount of creatinine in blood, if it is more, then there is problem with the kidneys. In the urine, if the creatinine level is less, again we know that there is some problem with the kidney. So now this is the reaction in which the creatine that is present, that is produced by the different parts of our body like pancreas, liver, etc. So this will undergo cyclization because of the muscle contraction to give this creatinine waste product. So how this cyclization is taking place? This cyclization involves elimination of water molecule. So here we know that there is NH2 group. So N, which is connected to two hydrogens, okay, and here there is a OH group. So this OH group of the carboxyl group as well as this H of the NH2 group. So this creatine, we know that it contains both the functional groups, that is acid functional group COOH and the base functional group, that is NH2. So OH of the acid functional group and H of this NH2 group will both combine together to form H2O, water molecule, which will be eliminated, and hence because of the elimination of this water molecule, it will result in cyclization. So the cyclized product, the cyclized waste product, you can see here, that is formed by eliminating these two groups, that is OH and H. So we get this cyclized product, that is creatinine, which is a waste product formed by the formation of creatine, that is creatine elimination of water to give this creatinine waste product. Okay, so now here in the Jaffe's method, what happens is, this is the reaction that is taking place and the complex that is formed in the Jaffe's method. So we have this creatinine, that is the waste product which is formed by cyclization of creatine. This on reaction with picric acid in the alkaline medium. So alkaline medium, we have this OH minus, that is we take NaOH. So we get this, the product, that is the complex that is formed between the creatinine as well as the picric acid. So the complex that is formed is orange in color. The creatinine solution is colorless. The picric acid, what we are taking is, the solution is yellow in color. The combination of these both in this Jaffe's method in the presence of alkaline solution will give you the colored complex, the picrate as well as the creatinine complex, which is orange in color. This complex that is formed will absorb in the 540 nanometer range. So this complex has a lambda max of 540 nanometer. So we need to read the absorbance of this complex at that particular wavelength of light. Okay, so here this is a simple reaction where the adduct or the complex is formed by the reaction of the creatinine and the picric acid that we add in the Jaffe's method. So this is the picture which shows the formation of the complex. So here we can see the formation of the orange colored complex that is formed between the picric acid as well as the creatinine, that is which we have to measure, which we have to estimate in this experiment. So this is the orange colored product that is formed. So here, as I've already told, the complex that is formed will absorb at 540 nanometer, since the lambda max for this complex is at 540 nanometer. So we make use of the experiment, we make use of colorimetry to find out the absorbance of the complex. So colorimetry, we have the light source and the monochromator. With the light will be sent to the sample solution, that is the picrate as well as creatinine complex, and we read the absorbance by making use of the colorimeter. So next, here for the complex, they have found out that the lambda max is at 540 nanometer by taking different concentrations. So here we know that if we connect it to the x-axis, here in all cases, the lambda max or the wavelength at which maximum absorption is taking place, it is at 540 nanometer. So this complex that is formed will have the maximum absorption at 540 nanometer. That's why we change the concentration of the complex that is formed based on whatever pipetting is done, and we are going to read the absorbance at 540 nanometer, that is the lambda max. So this is just a simple protocol of how we are going to perform this experiment. Here we are going to take the working solution, which consists of 50 μg per ml of creatinine. So we take the creatinine solution and take these test tubes, different test tubes. In this test tubes or the boiling tubes, we take first one as the blank, which does not have any creatinine solution. Next 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8 and 1 ml of creatinine solution we are going to pipette out. So if 1 ml has 50 μg of creatinine, then we are going to calculate for 0.2 ml how much of creatinine will be present. So we get 10 mg just by cross multiplication. So for 0.4 we have 20 mg and for 0.6 30 and so on. So in the second column, we are going to write how much of creatinine is present in the amount of solution that has been pipetted out into the boiling tubes. Next, we are going to add water so as to maintain the total volume for 2 ml. So in the blank solution, we are only taking water. We are not going to add any amount of creatinine. So blank is nothing but it is used to set the colorimeter value to 0, so that since there is no creatinine, the value should be set to 0 by making use of this blank solution. That is the significance of taking the blank solution in any analysis. So here, then we are going to add water to make the total volume to 2 ml. Then we are going to add the picric acid to form the creatinine picric acid complex, and then NaOH is added so as to maintain the alkaline solution. And after taking this different variable concentration of creatinine solution, we are taking 1 ml for we are doing 2 trials for the unknown solution. So we don't know the concentration here. So just we are taking it as unknown, and all other reagents are even added to the unknown solution, so that the creatinine that is present in the unknown solution also will react with picric acid in the presence of alkaline medium to give the complex. So finally, we are making this solution to stand for 15 minutes after the complex formation. Then we are going to dilute with water so that we get enough of solution to take the colorimetric reading. And finally, we are going to take the absorbance at 540 nanometer for each of these solutions in the test tubes. So then last what we are going to do is we are going to plot the graph of amount of creatinine and absorbance readings. So we will get a straight line passing through the origin, through which we can find out how much of creatinine is present in the given unknown solution. Okay, so this is about how we are going to determine, how we are going to estimate the amount of creatinine that is present in the given unknown solution by making use of Jaffe's method. So in my next video, what I'll be explaining is I'll be demonstrating this experiment. So how we are going to perform this experiment and how we are going to estimate the amount of creatinine that is present in the given unknown solution. I thank you for watching the video.